Pathmonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmonk to your website in seconds, by letting the AI do all the work and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to today's episode of Pathmonk Presents. Today we're joined by Liv. She's the VP of Marketing at Findem. Liv, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Great to have you, Liv. And maybe we jump right in and then we start with the basics a little bit. Maybe we talk about Findem, Liv. If you were explaining what you do to a friend over coffee, let's say, how would you describe it? How would you describe Findem?
It's a great question. I think I'd say Findem is basically an AI platform that helps companies make smarter talent decisions. So instead of just looking at resumes and keywords, we use this much deeper set of people data to add real context. And we call that 3D data. So you're able to see not just can this person do the job, but how likely are they to succeed in this specific role, in this team, in this company. And then our AI turns those insights into outcomes across the talent lifecycle. So hire-ready candidates for recruiting or data-backed research for exec search, strong internal matches for mobility. And the result is talent teams spend less time bogged down in manual and repetitive work and more time building relationships and exercising judgment, which is what they want to be spending time on.
Okay, that's a powerful proposition. Now, is there any specific type of business that benefits from this, or maybe does it vary? Are there any industries where you feel Findem really shines?
Yeah, I mean, it's really any company hiring for making decisions about corporate roles, but we do really well with mid to large size tech companies, financial services, business services companies, and the like, because they're often experiencing growth and they feel the pain of too many tools and manual workflows when it comes to talent and recruiting. And also have had this promise that AI is going to deliver a lot and often hasn't delivered meaningful outcomes for them. So, in terms of the problems we solve, really, if a company is trying to build a robust AI strategy for talent or reduce spend and dependency on a ton of top of funnel recruiting tools, if they've got specialized hiring needs and are struggling to build talent pipelines, or if they overall just want more ROI from AI, we're a pretty good solution to evaluate. A couple other call outs, I suppose, in terms of segments or industries. We do help VC and PE firms with activating talent across their networks for their portfolio companies, and then larger exec search firms that are going through AI transformation. So across the gamut, really.
Okay, so that's interesting. Now, within these companies, how do people discover you, and are there any channels that have become your go-to for bringing in more of those customers, if you will?
Yeah, I was chatting to the team about this. I think people find us in a few really consistent ways. So one big one is just credibility up front. So analyst recognition, industry awards tend to put Findem on the shortlist early when teams are doing their research. And then another huge one is referrals. So HR and talent leaders talk to each other a lot. It's a very relationship-driven space. And once someone replaces a couple of tools with Findem, sees real value, they tend to recommend us. And so that's a really important channel for us, is just word of mouth. And then we do get strong inbound from teams that are actively searching for practical AI in recruiting or exec search. So things like multi-channel sourcing or ATS rediscovery, or even just kind of AI and talent that's done in a trustworthy way. And we're seeing a lot of uptick in AI surfacing Findem for those types of searches. And then events and webinars is another place we show up, because that's where talent leaders, HR leaders are comparing notes on what's next and really kind of getting insight into the market. And then partnerships and integrations can help a lot too. So people discover us when they're trying to get more value out of their existing stack, like their ATS. And so overall, I'd say it's a mix of that third-party validation, word of mouth from customers and people that are in our corner, and then organic discovery from teams that are just looking for better data, real outcomes when it comes to AI for talent.
Of course, and I love what I hear. I mean, as far as events and especially people still like to shake hands, right? So it's great that people get together from that to partnerships to webinars even. Um, where does the website sit in all of this in your overall strategy, and how much of a role does it play for pulling in new business?
Yeah, I think it plays a pretty central role because it's really the front door to Findem. So for a lot of talent leaders, it's their first stop to understand who we are, how our AI works, our 3D data works, and why that leads to better talent decisions. So it's not just a brochure, it's doing real discovery work, education work, and validation in one place. And so I think a big part of that is sharing our point of view that talent decisions need domain-specific AI, and that AI is only as good as the data it's built on. So we're trying to help buyers see why generic AI tools and public data just aren't enough, and what happens when you use the right kind of expert labeled people data instead. So I think across the journey, it really helps us frame that, the website, and then build credibility with customer and market proof, and ideally convert those high intent buyers who are already looking for something like this. Um, so it's pretty central to our marketing strategy.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Um, Liv, I want to switch gears for a second, talk about you as a leader, if you don't mind. Just if you can give us a glimpse into what's a day in the life like for you, and what are the main things you focus on working for a growing company like Find Them.
Yeah, I'd say it's three main buckets. So the first is strategy and positioning. So we're having a lot of discussions right now, making sure we're really clear on who we're for, what we solve, how we tell that story in a way that stands out, and doing some brand related work around that. So there's a lot of internal market and customer feedback that's involved in that process at the moment, and it's always good to kind of keep a pulse on how we're tracking. Then second bucket is pipeline and growth. So really understanding what's working across demand gen, content, events, partnerships, launches. We just did a recent launch, for example, and shifting the resources to what's actually driving the traction. And then third would be enabling the team. So removing blockers, setting priorities, and making sure that they have the context and support that they need to do their best work.
Okay. I it's sounds simple on paper. It sounds like, yeah, this is what I focus on day to day, but I'm sure there's a lot of moving parts that you have to focus on. And I'm curious, especially something about you said about, content and what's working. When it comes to content, there's a flood of content out there. How do you stay
Mhm.
focused and keep learning, even as in your position? Maybe there's, I don't know, certain places, people, routines you turn to for inspiration, maybe staying ahead.
Yeah, I would say the biggest source for me is a network of people I trust. So other marketing, go-to-market leaders who are in the trenches. And I often find a 20-minute conversation with someone you really respect, who has kind of depth of knowledge about a particular area of marketing or growth, is worth like 100 blog posts. And so I lean on those people. I think there's also a couple of great communities for marketing and best practices right now. Sixth Sense has a marketing community that's a good example. I find that full of really practical examples, good showcases, and you can start to see patterns across companies. And then I would say specific to our space, I round that out with a really steady stream of customer market listening. So I conduct a lot of expert interviews with talent leaders, HR leaders, and kind of C-suite folks who are interested in talent decisions or making talent decisions. And it's a really good way of understanding what marketing is breaking through and what's helping to shape their decision making, which is impacting our own strategies. So it takes a lot of time, but I really find that valuable.
Yeah, of course. I mean, relying on people with maybe even more experience or different kinds of experience that could transfer over, I think that's a smart choice. So thanks for sharing that. Now, Liv, we're going into the back half, let's say, of this episode. We have a rapid fire segment. So are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So when it comes to content, to stay on the topic, do you prefer watching, reading, or listening?
I prefer listening.
Listening. Okay. What's the latest piece of content that you listen to? It could be an audiobook, it could be a podcast, whatever the case, that you listen to, and were there any gems that really stuck with you in it?
So one of my team recommended one of the podcasts by A16Z. It was about positioning and market launches. And I honestly can't remember the marketing leader that was speaking on it, but she had some really great insights about, listening to the market and how to test what you're saying or putting out there with the people who are going to hear it and really indexing on that kind of feedback.
Okay, that's a good one. Um, if you had a magic wand and could fix one frustrating thing in your marketing life with tech, what would you pick?
It's a great question. Okay, with a magic wand, I think the thing that I'd fix related to that insight is immediate, reliable market feedback on messaging, positioning, landing pages. Do people get it? Do they believe it? What resonates? What confuses them? What would they say back to you in their own words? I think that's something that can just sometimes take a lot of cycles to coordinate, and I would love to be able to push a button and get results.
Oh, that would be a gold mine. I mean, just having that immediate feedback, that's really good. What's one repetitive task that you love to put on autopilot forever?
Scheduling internal meetings, and mostly that's around kind of review cycles. I'm sure that there are ways to do this much better than we're doing it right now with AI, but still seems to be a pain point. So I would love autopilot to take care of that.
So there's thousands of marketers out there that are relating to this right now. So yes, please. So if you could go back, live, and give your past self a quick pep talk at the start of your journey in marketing, what advice would you give yourself?
I think the best advice is just, hmm, I'm going to put my hand up for a minute and say, can we stop? I'm just going to think about it for the best advice. The best advice I think I could give is look at the data. So often we feel the need to go with our gut or we're influenced by other people, but usually the data tells a story that's worth listening to and worth thinking about. And so whether it's really understanding what's helping something convert or what messaging is resonating or what's driving up engagement or click-through rates, I think getting deep into the data and the trends that shows can really help inform decisions and then makes you overall more confident in those decisions and sharing those with other leadership team members or your own team.
That's an interesting one. So don't shy away from the data, even if it looks a little bit intimidating, maybe
Yeah,
even, but just go head first and you'll find some nuggets in. And that's my understanding of that.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, very good. Liv, I want to thank you a lot for being on the show with us today. As we wrap things up, I also want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is the one thing that they should remember about the work you guys are doing?
So that we're pushing the boundaries of what could be done with the right data combined with AI that's specific to a particular space. I think there's so much upside and opportunity there if technology truly understands the workflows and the outcomes that the teams they're supporting are trying to achieve. So check out Findem and see what we're doing. We'd love to get your feedback.
Sounds good. And if people do want to do that, then how can they do it? Where can they find you?
We're everywhere. You can find us at findem.ai and request a demo. We're on LinkedIn. We're hopefully in lots of places that will show up around talent and HR decisions.
Amazing. Well, Liv, as I said, thank you again for your insights, and it was a interesting conversation. I'm sure it was interesting for our audience too. With that said, I wish you a wonderful day, and then hope to see you again soon, maybe in the new year.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.